As they come. All right. So my name is Taylor Molatier. I usually do the fourth new coach training call each week. Just one second. Sorry, I'm having some issues. I'm actually at my parents'. I recently just moved back to Pittsburgh from Florida, and my husband and I were both working from home for well over a year, and he went back into an office, so I had to come here so my mom could watch the baby while I did a call, which is the first time I've had to have a babysitter. It's crazy. But I have been a coach for 6 years. Katie Ersta is my direct upline. I usually do the fourth week of each new coach training and just kind of make sure that we are following all the checkpoints that we have learned about in the previous 3 weeks when we listened to Mel and Megan and to Katie. So I kind of come in at the end and do the big swoop and just say, okay, now everything that they told you to do, are you doing it? What are you struggling with? How can I help? Are you treating this like a business? Are you blocking out time to make sure that you're getting your Success Club tracker done? And so on and so forth. Hold on one second. For some reason, okay. I'm using Katie's Zoom, so I'm like, everything weird is happening. But if you guys have any questions, this is the week to ask. I am here for you. I actually have a Google document that I'm going to share with you in the chat of this call with just some new coach resources, because usually when we get to this fourth week, you guys are into using your business activity tracker, the Success Club tracker. Everyone's good with that. You know what the Success Club tracker is. You've been using it. You have found that in the back office. We're all set with that. That's your daily activities. Those are the things that you really need to be plugging into every single day, making sure that you're crossing those off. Time plus consistency equals results with those. So you have to just keep plugging away. Sometimes it might feel like you're not really getting anywhere with those things right off the bat, but you have to just keep plugging away with that consistency over time and you'll get results. It's the exact same concept that we tell our challengers, right? Or when we're going into a health and fitness journey, you're not going to press play one time and get results. You're not going to have one shake and feel better. You're not going to eat one healthy meal and all of your problems are going to be solved, right? So you can't just invite one day and expect the floodgates to open and all of a sudden you've just reached all of your business goals and you have a completely full challenge group. That's just not how this works. It's time plus consistency equals results. And you have to put that consistency day in and day out, block out that time and make sure we're getting those things done. So let's rewind a little bit. Now that we know the activities that we need to be doing every single day, I can remember as a brand new coach thinking okay, I have to do all these things, but I'm so overwhelmed. So I'm doing nothing, or I'm doing the things on the checklist that I like to do. I like to post and I like to, share my journey in my challenge groups, but I don't really like inviting. So I would skip that box when really that is the box that is going to make my business move forward and help me get results in my business. So we have to start to treat our business like a business and set aside that time to make sure that we get it done. What that looks like for me and Katie and Melanie and Megan at this point in our businesses is completely different than what it looked like when we were brand new coaches. When I was a brand new coach, I was working, this is probably going to relate with a lot of you. I was working two jobs, but one of them was multiple locations. So I was a full-time dance teacher and I taught at 2 studios. It was the same studio, but they had 2 locations. One in the south end of Pittsburgh, one in the west end of Pittsburgh, and then I taught group fitness classes in the east end of Pittsburgh. So I kind of made this triangle. So my days were a lot in the car, a lot of traveling in the car, and a lot of getting to where I needed to be, running in, teaching a few hours of classes, running out, going to the next place. So I didn't have blocks of time that I could really set aside to get these vital behaviors done. So I really had to figure out, how is this going to work for me in this season of my life? How am I going to make sure I get all of these things done in a quick and appropriate matter of time that I actually have at this point in my business, and check all these boxes off. So for me, what that looked like is my personal development always happened in the car. I did not have time to sit down and read a book or, read anything. It was all done audio. So whether I was listening to audiobooks or podcasts, I was catching the national wake up calls the next morning in the car, because 11 a.m. or that night. Do you guys know that there's a national wake up call podcast? You actually can listen to those calls that are streamed through Facebook. You can listen to those on a podcast later. I actually just listened to Mondays today when I was driving to my mom's house. So I was listening to those calls. I was listening to team calls when I was in the car. I was doing all this personal development and these business building activities that I could listen to in the car. So I was checking that off while I was driving. I was multitasking there. Then I started to block into my day, getting to my different job locations 20 minutes early so I could sit in the car and do my invites. So I would get to one studio and I would sit in the car and I would send out my invites. Then I would get in the car and go to the next studio and I would send out invites again for another 15 minutes. And then the third trip, another 15 minutes. So I found 45 minutes of my day in 15-minute time chunks to get that work done. My last thing I would do every single day is before I left the studio at night, I would tie up any loose ends. I would sit in the parking lot before I drove home, tie up any loose ends, answer any messages that I had, do any that responding to messages work. When I would get home, I would spend 5 minutes in the driveway, clear my inbox. I called it dumping my inbox. I would dump my inbox and then I would go inside and be done, because it would be like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And I knew my husband would actually kill me if I was on my phone when I walked in the door and had like 20 minutes to spend with him before he needed to go to bed to get up and do his job the next day. So it doesn't have to be these like pretty perfect power hours. I know we say power hours all the time. It doesn't have to be these pretty perfect power hours that you're plugging into, that you have time to really sit down and cross all those things off. I would work in power pockets is what I called them. You can find power pockets in your day that you can get this stuff done. Fast forward to where I am now. I've been a full-time coach for about 3 years and only working my coaching business. So I had all this time, but now I have an 8.5-month-old. So I have no time again. Like she's mobile now. There is no extra time. So I'm back to my power pockets. This morning, my day looked like I got up, I nursed her, I got her breakfast, we played a little bit. And then when she went down for that first nap, it was like game on. I knew I had approximately 45 minutes to an hour and a half, just depending on the day for her, to get everything that I needed to get done quickly. So I had to get all my invites sent out. I wrapped up loose ends, I did my follow-ups, and I did my workout is what I did. And she actually napped for an hour and a half. So I got a decent amount done today. But I know that there's always this potential that she could wake up and totally interrupt that hour and a half of work in 45 minutes, and I would have to start over. So in this season of my life, what it looks like when I'm trying to get those power pockets in is I actually take my phone, and the most important part of my business for me in this season is invites. I think Ashley Molstad said it at a summit, maybe it was last year, because she was top coach. She was probably last year. She said, if your inbox doesn't have a heartbeat, you don't have a business. So she tries to connect with, and I just kept these numbers in my head because I was like, if this is what the top coach is doing, I can do this too. She has 15 new conversations going on in a day. So she is connecting with 15 new people every single day. Not necessarily an invite, but just connecting with them in her DMs, not just in comments, about something, whether it's in their stories or sending them a message about one of their posts or responding to a message from something that they sent her. She makes sure that her inbox has a heartbeat, or you don't have a business. So that is what I am focusing on first. And I know that I want to spend 30 minutes a day at minimum getting that heartbeat in my business. So what I do in the morning is I wake up and I go to the timer on my phone and I set it for 30 minutes. And when I sit down to start my invites, I press start, and then I just start plugging away in my DMs, my inbox, getting new people, having new conversations, whether it's about coaching, about fitness, about momming, about their workout outfit they're wearing, about the boots they're wearing in their picture, whatever it is. I'm creating new conversations for at least 30 minutes. Maybe something comes up, maybe my daughter's name is Joya. Maybe Joya wakes up and totally interrupts that time. I take this and I press pause. So now, just in talking to you, I have 29 minutes and 29 seconds left to go for the day. So the next time I have time to sit down, I'm pressing resume on that, and it's going to start to tick down again. I'm going to start to get into that inbox again, sending out those new messages. Maybe, it's lunchtime, so I press pause. The next time I sit down to get those invites sent out, those new messages happening, I press resume again. So this little countdown timer is just on my phone all day, each day, starting at 30 minutes. If I crawl into bed and there is still 29 minutes and 20 seconds left on this timer, I got to lay there in bed and finish that inboxing connections and invites for 29 minutes and 20 seconds. Most days there's about 10 minutes left. I can usually find like 10 to 15 minutes here and there throughout the day to get this done. But most days there's about 10 minutes left when I lay down in bed, and I just take that time to send out new messages so that the next morning when I have my follow-up time blocked off, I have people to actually follow up with, and I'm not sitting there like, well, can't actually do this on my tracker today because I didn't do my connections the day before. So everything on this tracker is really a snowball effect in your business. If you skip one thing, you're not going to have the things that you need to do the next day to check off the list. For me, my posts really are how I meet new people and how I interact with new people and how I send those invites out. So if I don't post the day before, the next day when I go to do my invites and see who's liking my posts and connect with new people, I have nobody to really talk to. So you have to make sure that you're doing your posts and your stories so the next day, whenever you come back to do that part of your tracker, you have something to do. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay. Do you guys have any questions so far about blocking off time in your day, how much time you should be spending? If I'm not mistaken, I believe on your tracker, it tells you like how many minutes you can spend on each activity each day, right? Yeah. So as a new coach, you should at least be doing the minimum of that amount each day to hit those minimum goals. If your goals are bigger, so at this point, my goal is always at least Success Club 10. So I kind of double what the tracker says I should be doing. I spend about twice as much time, but this is also my full-time job now, so I have more time to do that. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, let me pull up this this document, and I'm always updating this. So you can save this into your Google Drive and come back to it, and you might see it looking different every so often. I'm going to put it in the chat here for you. Okay, so this document, I'm just going to screen share really quick. These are just some action steps and some little smaller trainings that I get asked about a lot in this 4th week of new coach calls that you can kind of plug into on your own. So number 1 is people are always like, I don't know what to post. I'm not sure about what to post. I'm nervous about posting. So the first thing you need to do is to become confident in your invites and your posts. So for me, and I think Katie may have gone over this she usually covers like content creation in her week of calls, but I really try to teach my new coaches, sit down and list out 5 things that are unique to you, and then create posts on a rotation around those 5 unique things, and then create that content ahead of time. So if you're someone that works Monday through Friday and you don't have time to sit down and create this content, maybe over the weekend, you sit down and you create 5 to 7 posts for the upcoming week of different content, of different topics that you have written down that are unique to you. I know that my brain cannot create content that is of any sort of value if I'm trying to do it on the fly, and I waste so much time trying to take a picture, write the post, and post the post in a given day. Whereas whenever I plan this content ahead of time, I can really get some good stuff going, and my pictures are ready in advance. If you were on a team call a couple of weeks ago, actually it might have been last Monday, Kat she did an Instagram training and she talked about batching content. I do that too. So if there's a day, like one day a week that my hair and makeup looks great, I'll change my outfit a bajillion times and take pictures in different settings and scenarios to use for future content. Sometimes if I have extra time, if I finish a workout and the baby's still sleeping and I have time, I'll change my workout shirt a few times to get different workout posts ready for content for the week. But you have to find those 5 unique things to you. Those things could be, it could be whatever your job is. So forever, I was a full-time dance teacher in addition to coaching and group fitness. So I talked a lot about teaching dance, especially preschool dancers. Like, people love to hear about that aspect of my life. Now I talk about having a newborn, an infant, a little baby. I talk a lot about mom, like you're being confident in your body as a new mom. I talk about a huge part of my story is that I actually had a stillbirth in 2016. So I do a lot of grief and infant loss awareness posts. But that's all planned out. So I sit down with my planner. I use the Rise Up planner, and I sit down and I plan that content out, and I write those posts in the notes of my phone, and I find pictures to go with that content. And I do that all on one day a week. For me, that's usually Thursdays or Wednesday nights. My husband and I have like a Wednesday, Thursday schedule where when he gets home from work, he takes the baby and I have a few hours to just sit down and batch out content and connect with my coaches. It could be Sunday for you, Sunday night. It could be, Friday morning. It could be on your lunch break, like whatever time you have to batch out content. It's really good to have that already ready to go. So your business is really just plug and play. I know that on Monday, this post is going up. I copy paste it from the notes in my phone, slap the picture on, and I go about my business. Especially those of you who have demanding jobs, who have full-time jobs, who have little kids at home. Like, I don't have time to waste sitting there trying to figure out what I'm going to post in that moment. And then with your invites, I hear a lot from new coaches in this 4th week. Like, I don't know if I should invite this person, or I'm just a little bit too nervous. And I just want to challenge you a little bit on that and think about the person that you were when you were invited. Were you invited? Sometimes I see coaches that are like, I wasn't invited. I wasn't really invited either. I kind of invited myself. I met Katie actually in person and started Facebook stalking her, and I had the DVD sitting on my shelf for T25. So I just messaged her and I was like, can I do whatever this is that you're doing? But just think about the person on the other end. I actually have a coach on my team who always shares her story when we do coaching sneak peeks, where she literally, in the day that she was invited, she wanted to drive her car off a bridge. And then, literally, she was that depressed, suicidal, got an invite from a random neighbor that was like, hey, I'm running this free, I think it was a sugar detox group. I'm inviting a bunch of moms in the neighborhood, thought you might be interested. And she got that random invite from a random mom, and it literally gave her something else to focus on and completely changed her life. Now she's 3-star qualifying coach on my team. Could you imagine if someone didn't invite her, the difference, what could have happened that day? So I always like to teach new coaches, take yourself out of it, take your ego out of it. You have something to offer someone. And if you don't invite someone because you're too uncomfortable and you're just a little bit nervous, who is that serving? Your ego or the person on the other end? So try to remember that whenever you're too nervous to send out a post. 5-second rule, if you haven't listened to any Mel Robbins stuff, just when I feel nervous about an invite, that I still get nervous. And I love to talk about this on new coach calls, because it's not like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I cannot wait to invite a bunch of strangers to my challenge group or the coaching opportunity today. It is still something that makes me nervous and a little bit uncomfortable. So I still have to pump myself up, drink my Energize, and say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, invite these people. I told you before how I set my timer and send out as many invites as I can to people who have liked and commented on my posts and who are viewing my stories. And then share your story and your love for what you do as a coach. Don't try to copy other coaches. If you try to be me, your audience is going to be like, what is she talking about? That's not how she's ever been in the past. Just be you and let your personality come out and flourish. I am not the same coach I was 6.5 years ago. And I'm not the same coach I was 6 days ago. So your voice is going to change over time. Don't try to copy Mel or your upline. Just be you. I am nothing like Mel or Katie or Megan, like you heard from previously. I am definitely much more fly by the seat of my pants than those 3 ladies. And but I'm still doing fine in this business. I'm still doing great. And then I just gave you some examples here of some invites that you could send to people who are viewing your stories. So if someone's viewing my workout stories, I'll just send them, I see them viewing them, I just send them this quick little, hey, I see you watching my stories. Are you on a health and fitness journey of your own? Don't overthink it. Don't word vomit on people. Just there it is for you. I also gave you a bunch of sample invites. I gave you all of my transformation photos. So if you are like, I don't have a transformation yet, or I don't want to post my transformation every single week, here you go. You can have some of mine in case you need something else to post. And then I always get asked, how do I build my Instagram following? How do I build my Facebook following? So there's these little 10-minute trainings. There's one with Val and one on building your Instagram and Facebook. It's like 10 minutes long. And then here's another 10-minute one on inviting with Carrie Schneider. Carrie's like a top coach on the team right now, a top coach in the company right now. She's on our team. So I shared that with you as well. And then the last thing that I always get asked is like, okay, now this person said that they want more information. What do I say now? So I always get their email. If someone says like, yeah, I'd love to hear more about that, I'm like, okay, cool. Send me your email address real quick. So I get their email, and then I ask them questions. So I'll be asking them like, what kind of workouts do you like? How much time do you have to work out? What's your nutrition like? I'm getting to know more about them. Tell me about your family. Tell me about your schedule. What does a day look like for you? No, learning as much as I can about them. And then I take this templated email that I've shared with you right here, and I copy paste it. And then this section that is yellow, I personalize to that person. So since we were chatting about what kind of workouts you like, and you were saying you often get bored, I recommend you start with 21 Day Fix or Morning Meltdown 100. They're different every single day with all different kinds of workouts, so you won't get bored, and there's an awesome modifier. Now that we've gone over your options, blah, 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 you can read this. I tell them to email me back with what flavors they want to start with. This little video link right here is right from Beachbody. It is the video that explains what comes in a challenge pack. So it explains all of that, and then tells them what to do next. Right now that we have our MBF promos, I would insert like MBF challenge pack photos here that would include prices. So they could pick between just the Shakeology or Performance Line bundle or the big bundle. And I can add those images in here too and update you guys. But that's really what I share. This is really what I send to people who are interested. I let this video do all the talking about the challenge packs for me, so I don't have to be having those conversations. Beachbody has made some really amazing tools, and we oftentimes forget to use them. This video is great. It literally sells challenge packs for me, explains challenge packs for me. I don't have to word vomit on people. They get it there, and then I explain to them how the only thing that's not going to come in their box when it shows up on their door is me, and that I am part of that purchase. So you guys have that Google Doc. Yep, there you go, Lena. You're welcome, Melanie. All right, any questions? I kind of just word vomited what you can be doing now in this 4th week, how to make sure we're tying up these loose ends in our first month of training, what to do day in and day out. What are you struggling with? What can I help with? I'm here for you.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, thanks.
So I get to the place where I'm talking with them, through Messenger about, great, fantastic. Can I ask you a few questions? And we do a health assessment, and they're like, oh, great, that sounds great. And send me your link. And I do share a cart, and I go, okay, here you go. Just let me know when it's complete, and I'll send you an invite to the group. And then nothing. So how do you follow up with people who are ghosting you? Because this has happened to me like 6 times this month.
That happens to me too still. So what I do, like at least every other day, is I go through my shared carts and see which ones are still out there that I know that they've viewed, because you can see viewed and then purchased. So what I do is I'll message those people and be like, hey, I just like might crap up. I'll be like, sometimes our system gets really jammed up and those links don't get sent over. Did you get yours? And see what they say. And then I always copy the link. You know how you can like copy it to your clipboard and send it. And I'll be like, it's been giving me a hard time, so here's your link. And I'll like drop it in their inbox. Because I think a lot of times they just get like it's in their email. They're like, oh, I'll come back to this. And then if they're like me, like I know I have a text in here from a friend who texted me approximately 14 days ago that I have not yet responded to, but I've thought about what I'm going to say to her 14 times. So I just kind of keep showing up in different places, like Facebook, Instagram. I'm just like, I show up. And then eventually when it gets to be like Friday, like say, I sent this out last week and I want to get everyone new into my group by Monday. On like Friday, I'm going to be like, hey, Christy, I sent you that link. Maybe now's not a good time for you. That's totally fine, but I'm holding your spot. Do you want me to give it to someone else? Sometimes when you take it off the table, they're like, whoa, 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 I'm coming. Like, it will show them like, this is in your hands. Like, I'm not waiting, even though you are waiting for them. I'm not waiting for you to like do anything. I'm doing this with or without you. And I have other people who want to do it too. So sometimes when you take the offer away, they'll snap into reality and be like, no, I'm going to get to it today. Sometimes I just kind of like feel their personality out too. I'll be like, hey, it's me again. Like, if you're not into this, you can totally tell me to bug off, like, and I'll leave you alone. And I'll go away. Would you rather me follow up with you next month or in a couple of weeks or something like that?
Okay.
Just see, like, you can kind of tell, like, in conversations with people who are like, maybe just busy and forgot, who are nervous about something. A lot of times it means that you haven't overcome some trust issue yet. So either they don't trust you yet, or they don't trust themselves yet, or they're really worried about spending the money. There's like a lot of things that could just be like secretly dormant that they're not saying out loud. And that's why they just haven't pulled the trigger yet. So I will also say, like, what questions do you have? Are you nervous? Like, I'll just ask them questions like that to see if I can get to the root of the actual problem.
Okay.
It's usually they don't trust themselves. They've been burnt before. They've tried things that haven't worked. Someone's giving them a hard time about spending the money kind of situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that help?
It actually really did. It let me know that I was making too many assumptions about where they're at instead of just asking and following up with them. Mm-hmm. Because, there's always that fear of, am I just completely annoying everybody?
Yeah. So, and I like to just say that sometimes, like, I could totally be annoying you and you can tell me that. It's totally fine. I'll go away. Like, I usually say that myself so that then they're like, I don't want her to think she's annoying. Like, then they'll be nice back,
Right.
I do the same thing with my invites, and it's definitely genuine. It's my personality to kind of just say, like, exactly how I feel about a situation. So people, they don't want to like upset me or like make me feel uncomfortable. So they'll be nice back. So sometimes when I send an invite, I'll be like, hey, I've really been wanting to ask you this, but I'm honestly just like really shy about it and nervous, but would you be interested in joining like my challenge group? So if I say that I'm shy and nervous, they're not going to be like, how dare you invite me to this thing? Like, they're going to be like, oh, don't be nervous. They might say like, I love what you do, but I'm not interested. Or yeah, actually I've wanted more information, something like that. So just, you can tell them how you're feeling. Like, I feel like I'm bothering you. You can say that.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Just what would you say? Like, I think because it's online, like we overthink it so much and forget we're just having a conversation. And we try to have these like picture perfect, like scripts that, are going exactly how we want them to. But someone told me a long time ago, you can say all the right things to the wrong person and all the wrong things to the right person. People are where they are and they will make up their mind. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just have a normal conversation with people. I do like to voice message a lot too, because I think that comes across in my voice better than typing it out as well. So a lot of times I'll just be like, hey, this is easier for me to voice message, but I'm getting my group geared up. I have 5 spots. I'm holding one for you. Do you want it? Or do you want me to go on to the next girl? Totally up to you. I would love to have you. I'd love to save your spot for you. Let me know where you're at, kind of thing.
That'd be better. That way they can't, how it comes across in your notifications, you can kind of pre-read it. And you immediately are deciding if you're going to ignore it or not. Whereas if it's a voice, it's like, what does she want?
Yeah. So, or it's like, oh, was that a butt dial? Like, people are like curious. They're like, what? Yeah. So they'll listen. Yeah.
I might try that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I love voice messages. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Where can we get the link on the document? I posted it up, but maybe you got on late because I think sometimes I'll just post it again. Sometimes if you come on later, stuff doesn't show up in the chat again. All right, any other questions? Don't be shy. Anything that's working for you, or any of you like at Success Club or have sold one challenge pack or signed one coach, like what's working for you if you want to share anything? No?
I'll share.
Oh yeah, sure. Thank you.
This is my first month and I have had great success. I hit Emerald yesterday. I'm Success Club 10. I'm at 28 right now.
What are you doing?
I am just continuously sharing. So I've lost like 55 pounds this year myself.
Congratulations on like all of the things.
Thank you. Well, now I'm a little overwhelmed because I don't know how I'm going to follow up my first month, because I think it's just like, I want to do what she's doing. And that's what I want, is for people to do what I'm doing. But then I feel like I'm just already catching all the people. So I need to keep messaging the new people. But I feel a little overwhelmed that I'm not complaining, but I've had a good month and I don't know how to keep that momentum rolling.
Okay. So whatever you did this month, just keep doing it, obviously, like your posts, sharing. I don't know if you like heard the statistics that it takes people like 7 times to see the same message to like get the message. So I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, I've shared my story like 3 days ago. Share it again. Breadcrumb pieces out, like continue to build that momentum. Start to share your girls that are in your group, these people that are joining you, share their victories, their successes. You know, they're going to be small at first, but like I have girls every single day that are like, I just like walked up the stairs holding my baby and didn't fall down the steps or want to die when I got to the top. Like just like those small little wins, like, you know, I woke up today and I was like, I feel good about my life. Like just those small things that happen that people tell you. You can screenshot them, cross their name off, like black their name out, and just share that kind of stuff. The more people see this is real, she has this community, the more likely they're going to be to join you. The other thing I do, so this is like, I need to do a call on it because I just started doing it a couple months ago, but I found that like all these people were coming in from like different, well, mostly postpartum. I got a lot of postpartum people because I'm in the bar post. I know I'm in the cast, so I got a lot of people like finding me that way. But then they would be like, I want my sister to do this. I want my friend to do this. So what I started doing was just like a referral type of situation. So if I'm talking to you and you're like, I lost 55 pounds this year, I'd be like, okay, who in your life do you think would love this community? Not necessarily the weight loss, not necessarily the products, but the community. And I've started to get people into my group that just are there because, especially right now with, you know, a global pandemic, they have no community. Like they're just totally lost. They have nothing. They have nobody. And I've been letting people in my groups the last week of a month from Wednesday to Sunday for free, just to see what happens in there. And then I create a little spreadsheet and I'll say like, okay, Lena, you invited Sarah, Barbara, and Joe. And I'll put their names next to your name on a spreadsheet so that I know on Sunday if those 3 people haven't purchased something to get into the challenge group, I'm deleting them. So instead of running these like whole free groups and like creating this whole other wheel, I'm doing like little mini sneak peeks within my group and getting a lot of referrals that way. And then what's happening even better is that say you came in as a customer and you invited 3 people and 2 of them are like, I really want to do this. I'm going to order a challenge pack. I want to get started. I'm your coach. So I'm having that 3-way conversation with those people and telling them how they can get signed up, but I'm signing you up as a coach and then signing them up under you. So I'm showing my challengers, they just invited to this challenge group. They got people inspired by the community and now they want to do it too. So they're signing up as a coach, getting these people signed up under them. And here we are. They're jumpstarting their business without really doing anything scary yet at all. They're realizing it's not as scary as they were making it out to be in their head.
So do you save your best content for the last week of your group?
No, my group's really, I will say that I do have a very community driven kind of group. So my girls are, like my sweat thread in the morning, like they are finding each other, they are hunting each other down. Like they are like, Taylor, what time are you working out? Jen, I haven't seen you check in yet. Like they're like literally on each other's butts. I also do a buddy system in there, which is super helpful. So say every new month, so my groups are ongoing, they're the same group every month. This is kind of like forward thinking too, because if you're running a group with your upline, then you're inviting them to that. But if you have your own little tribe going, I created a buddy system. So every like first week of the month, I put everyone's names in a random name picker, and I pick 2 names and then their buddies, and I create a post of like, Lisa and Lena, you 2 are buddies. Christy and Taylor, you 2 are buddies. And then they're meeting these new people, and they have to check in with that person every single day. They have to make sure that person has checked in the sweat thread and in the nightly check-in thread. And then when we add our new buddies in, they become whoever invited them. They're checking in with that person. That person is making sure that they're commenting and posting. So it's really an accountability thing. They're meeting new people. So nothing crazy. I don't have any crazy content going on in those groups. It's really just very community driven.
Thanks.
And sharing anything. Like it's kind of like a mini mom group that like, but like mom, not a scary one. You know how like if you're in a mom's group and they're like crazy and you get yelled at, like none of that is happening. It's just a very, very lax kind of supportive situation. So think about like what motivates you. So I'm someone who really, I have a really hard time motivating myself just for myself. But if I know that someone else is counting on me, like I'm going to show up. So the buddy system works for those kind of people really well. We do happy hours on Wednesday nights. So I do a Zoom link and we just get on, and like some people have seltzer water, some people have wine. I'll pull a drink from Fixate every now and then and make it on the call, and we just kind of like hang out. So some people really want that like girlfriend atmosphere and like girl talk kind of thing. We have a bunch of girls that are reading the same book together at the same time. So there's like a mini book club going on. Like there's so much going on in that group that's so community driven, which is not part of a challenge pack. So you have to really find those things that like they're not getting in the sale. And you'll figure out what that looks like for you as you go. But don't be worried about doing really good this month. You'll be fine. You might not hit SE 28 every month, but you can.
Wild.
You can.
Thank you.
So use your people who are having wins to help you build that community. Does that help? I feel like I went on a long tangent just to say that.
I was taking notes too, so I got a lot of that, and I got a lot of good ideas. So
Okay,
the groups,
good.
the groups are a little overwhelming to run when you don't necessarily know what you're doing. So those are some good ideas, and I have been working on my August or my September groups. So that's some good stuff that will help me.
Yeah, don't worry so much about having like crazy content, because not everyone's going to sit there and read a post, but everyone knows like, okay, I'm supposed to show up for this thing. So I think I have found that the simpler I keep the rules, the easier, because everyone's busy, you know?
Thank you.
Leanne, is it a bod group or a Facebook group? So I'm running my groups on Facebook. I tried bod groups for 2 months and they were not doing it for me. I do have a bod group always open so people can like log their workouts in there, but I don't really show up in there like I do in my Facebook group. Every week I have my people fill out a Google form, like a check-in form. And that's really how I get feedback from them every single week and figure out where they are, how they're doing. Basically it says like, how was your week? How many workouts did you complete this week? Was this a weight loss week for you? If that is your goal, are you ready for the week ahead? What obstacles do you see, being thrown at you this week? That kind of stuff, so that I can kind of get more one-on-one feedback from everyone and check in that way. Any other questions? Successes? So Leanne, when you wake up, Lena, when you wake up tomorrow, you'll be Emerald? Yeah. Yay.
Well, and I signed my husband up because I'm getting Emerald, obviously. But so I signed up 2 other coaches. So now I have 3. So, maybe I'll get rid of him at some point or try to build him a little bit more. And
never get rid of him. You'll learn as you go, but you want your husband or your significant other at the top of your business.
perfect.
Yeah, keep him there. Never get rid of him. Mine actually, something crazy happened like 4 years in the business. I don't know if like we moved and maybe our billing address, I don't know. He got removed from my downline. And it was like a struggle to get him put back in. So don't ever let go of him. Don't ever let him go. But now he's a diamond. So he's good. You'll grow him to diamond. You can double dip your income that way. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions? Yeah. Helen is saying, even if you don't understand the importance of like signing a spouse or significant other right now, but your coach is telling you to do it, do it. Especially now because we have so much. So when I signed my husband up, we only had Shakeology. We had E&E. It was like this really gross pre-workout, and we had a really gross recover protein too. So we weren't using it, but he now, like, I get all of my Shakeology through my business center, performance line through his, so we're keeping each other active. But also you can place a customer under him that would keep him at 50 PV. But now that he's a diamond, I have to, and he hits Success Club pretty regularly, I have to keep some volume over there. But definitely sign them up and listen to them. Anything else? Nothing? You guys are all going to be messaging me in an hour like, oh, I had this question. Oh, I forgot to ask you this. I want to get the pre and postnatal workouts on my stories. Is there what? Jessica, I don't really understand that question. You want to get the pre and postnatal workouts on your stories. Is there slides? Can you unmute? Is she frozen? She looks frozen. I'm not really sure what that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I want to make like on your stories how you do with like how we do with the MBF and stuff. You make slides just to let people know about the program.
Yeah.
I was wanting to do that with the pre and postnatal because my audience I'm trying to reach is other moms.
Yeah.
And I figured that would be good to. Is there like slides or do I just make some?
I would just make them. I don't have any for pre and postnatal, which maybe I should since I was in it, but I don't have any. If I do create some at some point in time, I will definitely share them, but you can just make them. A lot of what I do for that kind of stuff too is just show the screen. So like just show I know what you're saying, but if like you're trying to get something out now, you could just play the workout and like record a little snippet, record yourself doing a move from it. Elise's verbiage in that program is incredible for new moms and pregnant women. So I've been trying to post as much of her talking because it's literally like personal development for pregnant women and postnatal women, just so they can hear like, oh my gosh, she's talking to me about like even just for myself right now, I'm doing the first trimester workouts just to experience them. I'm not pregnant again, but just to see what they're like. And she's talking about like visualize your baby, and like I had really bad anxiety during my pregnancy, so if I would have had that in my head every day, like, so I'm doing stuff like that, but I don't have any created if that's what you're looking for.
Sorry.
No problem. No worries.
That's all.
I'm just meaning you because it got loud. All right, any other questions? No? All right, guys. Well, Google Doc. I shared the Google Doc. Do your business. Basically, the moral of week 4 is do your business activity tracker. Treat your business like a business. Do what your coach tells you to do, and you'll be good. And it's time plus consistency that equals results. So, you know, you're going to have days. I tell everyone you can go from 0 to 20 overnight in this business. Success Club, I mean, like it doesn't all have to happen right away. There have been months that I'm like down to the wire and it all just starts to happen. So don't give up. You can do it. You can do it. Let me know if you have any questions. Reach out to your upline if you have any questions. And that's it. It's never too late. Literally at 11:50 on the 31st of a month, you can reach goals. So don't give up. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.